What's up, everyone? As you know, recent announcement of DICE killed all interests of players to Battlefield 5, as it will not be further developed and we will have only one new map somewhere in the middle of the summer. And that's it, no more updates. A lot of players felt so disappointed about it. Inspiration to play Battlefield 5 went down and people go away from game. But where to go? That is exactly what we will try to find out in this video. The first and most obvious analogues of Battlefield 5 are previous games of Battlefield. Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4 servers are still full and playable. You can observe that online is very decent. If you are passionate about all good old times, it is very easy to return to them. Spending around 100 GB of your disk space, of course. Custom servers with hardcore setup will appease players that are sick of 10 damage guns and auto spotting. An immersive and challenging gameplay that we deserve is waiting right there. Definitely the best alternative to Battlefield 5. If you are looking for something new rather than Battlefield, I have some on the list. I will list not any shooter game, but a game that have a big enough amount of players on the map, not a Counter-Strike 5 vs 5 type of battles, and that have a similar fast-paced game style. Arma, for example, is a good game, but I can't consider it to be a Battlefield analog due to slow gameplay it has. First is Call of Duty, a game popularity of which is very big, and it have a gameplay mode that is very common with Battlefield, a ground war in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare. If you search for something very similar to Battlefield 4, it can be a choice. The game is very intense, with good time to kill parameter. It have a ground vehicles, it has aircraft. When player performs a kill streak, he is opening an abilities that help to do even more kill streaks, radars, cruise missiles, vehicles, spawns, and so on. Infantry action is very intense, smooth and good looking. On the other hand, playing with vehicles is not that smooth, because there is no distractions, the map is totally static. Even trees can be ruined, so you need to ride around it. Gameplay looks very common to Battlefield 4, so you should like it. But is there enough difference to play Call of Duty over Battlefield 4? I think it's up to you to decide, but in my opinion, it is not. Next game we will look at is Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. This is definitely something different from Battlefield. It has its own style, it is very hardcore. Compared to Battlefield, this game is Arma-like enough for me to enjoy it. Just look at screens that players see when he first time turn on the game. Looks like in 2020 you need to warn players about such game features. Anyway, everything listed here is true. Regarding interesting game features that differs this game from the Battlefield are limited combat roles. There will be no such case when 20 snipers in your or opposite team are on the battle. No ground vehicles, so if you like infantry-only servers, you will like this as well. But there are air vehicles that are pretty damn strong in that game and it is really hard to get them down. But it is not felt like an imbalanced stuff. It is a good, but strong, realistic animation system. If you run forward and then rotate fast on 90 degrees, your character will first stop and then rotate and run in new direction. And it's not annoying, it just feels as realistic. On the other hand, climbing options are limited to different objects or places. If you will like to try the game, first thing you should do is to go to training ground and customize the control settings. They are a bit not common to Battlefield players. For example, by default a key to crawl is an alt. I would rate this game pretty high in the whole list, a good analog. Next, I would like to show a game that I would not recommend, just to save your money. The game is World War III. First, I will start with procs, since there are not a lot of them. Weapons customization is very detailed, gameplay is pretty equal to Battlefield 4 hardcore gameplay, ballistic is good as well, static graphic is good enough, but that's all. Everything else in-game seems like still in deep development. When I entered it to make footage that you see on screen, only several servers were live, around 100 people online. Animations are bad, parkour is bad, sounds bugs are awful, 90% of sounds in-game was not working for me at all, I heard only mice shooting and tank shell flying sounds. There can be bugs with resurrect when you just can't resurrect in game and you need to go offline. To be honest, animation patch is already on test servers, but still this game requires a lot of development before being released. Totally do not recommend right now, but maybe things will change in half a year or a year. 2 Battlefields out of 10 for me, but with future potential. Next game is a bit out of realistic setup, but have its advantages to recommend it as Battlefield analog. pleased to show you the Planetside 2 game. If you've seen Battlefield game lacks of massacre in it, then this game is for you to try. Lol, even RPG spam in Metro in Battlefield 3 or 4, that was an action indeed, but it can match this game in the bloodbath it can become. It has a big map with front line between 3 forces on several planets. As you see, there are a lot of regions on the map. Each region is about a small to medium battlefield map, and you can travel here seamlessly. It is a big map, with a lot of players. When I tell a lot, I mean a limit of 2000 players per planet, that can technically all be in one region. But of course, they are split on the front lines. Nevertheless, population per region can easily be around 1 or 200 players. Because of such population, I guess the graphic in the game is best it possibly can be. If you would like to see Battlefield 5 graphics in this game, with such a population, everybody would need an NASA PC to play it. The game is built in future genre with a bit of space-like techniques. Very fun to play, but you can do much less as a solo player. That is probably the only downside of the game for me. It definitely has its specific charm and audience, and it's well deserved. It has 6 classes inside the game. Medic can obviously heal and resurrect players. Engineer that can fix vehicles, build turrets. Light assault with jackpad, very cool feature. Heavy assault that have shields that grant extra protection. Infiltrator that can be 2 scenes, assassin with pistols only and long invisibility, more like refraction rather than invisibility. You will learn how to see them really quickly, or a sniper with short invisibility. And a special unit that you need special points to spawn with, Max, a heavy unit, some kind of heavy assault but much more heavy and slow, as if it is a combination of vehicle and a soldier. It has all kinds of vehicles, fast and small up to heavy tanks. It has aircraft vehicles of many kinds. Since it is free to play, I totally recommend to try it at least and understand if it is something for you or not. For me, it is 8 battlefields out of 10. There are more games like Squad, Hell Let Loose, Postscriptum, but they are simulators and not an arcade, fast-paced shooters as Battlefield, so I can't recommend them as analogues of a Battlefield game. I tried several simulators like that, but it is not something a regular Battlefield player will like. You can definitely try, but compared to Battlefield, it is more like Arma games. If you think I missed some games that should be part of this list, feel free to write in comments and I will gladly review other games as well. Likes and subscribes are much appreciated. Have a nice day and good luck in finding your favorite game.